Examiner.com interview with novelist Suzie Carr. I'm happy to announce the exclusive interview with Suzie Carr, publishing company owner, philanthropist, and an avid blogger at www.curveswelcome.com, which is home to her blog. Suzie writes about women in love and advocates for the LBGT equality and animal welfare. Other time is spent blogging about community awareness, positive living, taking action, and inspiration. She also hosts Free Writers Insight video series for aspiring writers to learn tips to get them started as writers. I recently became acquainted with Carr's passion for the aforementioned via Twitter, a confirmation that Twitter certainly does bring people together in a community where they can share interest, inspire each other, and brand themselves by taking advantage of free social networking and media, as well as bring a concentrated awareness to the things that bring havoc or completion to our community in a news forum. I also had the pleasure of recently interviewing the No Hate Campaign founder, Jeff Parsley, which was initially how I learned of Suzie Carr. I actually used a photo that Adam had taken on the website and came to know that she strongly believes in giving back to the community and donates a portion of her book sales or book proceeds to the Heart United for Animals in the No Hate Campaign. So, Suzie, first question. You've given a voice to romance through characters created in your novels. So just tell me where your motivation or inspiration for that comes from.
Well, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to write. And only one thing gets me up that early, and that is excitement. I have a burning desire to write. It's a rush and a healthy addiction.
In perfecting your characters, do you ever use real life experiences? And do you think that oftentimes writers must allow their real life experiences to bring a character to life?
That's an interesting question, and one that I get often. I believe that a part of me is always woven into each character. However, my characters' personalities are never fully based on me. Perhaps one day I'll write a memoir for that purpose. I interview people often. There are so many stories to tell, and I enjoy when someone allows me to listen to their struggles and share those struggles with others through my characters. As far as a process for other writers, I can only speak for myself because writing is such a personal journey. When I set out to write my characters, I spend time getting to know them by getting into their heads. I create an entire backstory for each main character, and I imagine their lives before the opening scene. This is my favorite part of writing. I enjoy delving into their past and figuring out their flaws, their triumphs, and their motives. These characters, they take me on a ride. They often take me over the keyboard and send me reeling on journeys that I didn't even think of in the development stage. This process is fascinating to me. They come alive on my screen, and what I plan to write sometimes gets crossed out and rewritten by an outside force that is far greater than my own creativity.
In your 2012 novel, The Muse, a novel of romance and discovery, you write about Jane Knoll, who assumes an altered ego to express what also brings her much joy and hope. I think a lot of people may do this as they are comfortable or more comfortable behind the mask. Where was this idea conceived?
I always knew that I wanted to write a book about bullying and its consequences. Then one day I was listening to the radio and I heard Brad Paisley's song Online. Now, as a writer, I spent a lot of time interacting with my readers on social networking sites. And when I listened to this song, which is essentially about someone who fabricates an online alter ego, it made me wonder how many people actually do this. So I took it one step further and thought about why people would create an online alter ego. That's when I married the concept of bullying into this idea. I realized one of the main reasons someone might design an alter ego like this is to interact with the world from a safe perspective, behind a computer screen where anything is possible.
Where and when did your interest for writing romance novels peak? And what, if any, were some of the fears of criticism that you might have faced Where did they come from, and how did you overcome them?
From early on in my career as a novelist, I delved into the world of writing about women in love with each other because, well, it's always been a genre that felt comfortable and enjoyable to me. In the worlds that I get to fabricate on a daily basis, I explore beautiful love between women, and to me, this helps me enjoy my personal journey on a level that is most times intoxicating and unforgettable. Now, as far as criticism, well, whenever one places her work in the hands of the public, she opens herself to criticism. It's a tough business to be in when you're a sensitive person, no doubt. And I happen to be an overly sensitive person, and I had to really work on developing this thick skin and not taking criticism so personally. How I did this was by viewing any criticism as a learning opportunity. When one takes the self-blame and defenses out of the equation, I think she's much better able to be objective and open to learning. That being said, some reviewers can be just downright harsh and hurtful. I deal with this by reading the positive reviews again. I also created a mission statement for myself. As long as I encourage, inspire, and enrich at least one person with each story, then I will stay committed to this unique and exciting path that I'm fortunate enough to be on. This mission statement helps me keep focused on my overall purpose. Without purpose, we're susceptible to falling down and never getting back up. And I don't think any one person should ever have that kind of power over anyone.
I learned in your biography that you believe in giving a voice to equality in many ways. Tell me about that.
I stand for equality, period. We all have a place in this world, and no one should be able to tell us that we don't have the same rights as others because of the color of our skin, the country we live in, the language we speak, the person we choose to love, etc.
With regard to same-sex marriage, do you feel that there is a need for increase in the awareness of the LBGT rights?
Of course, always. Our job in building awareness is not done by a long shot. We have lots of work to do. And thanks to organizations like the No Hate Campaign, this work is being realized more than ever before.
When it comes to embracing differences, speak to us about your blog, curveswelcome.com.
My website, curveswelcome.com, is a place for people to visit and share ideas. They can vent frustrations and embrace the beauty of life and love. I blog weekly on topics that speak on issues such as improving lives, community awareness issues, health and fitness, keeping it real, the latest projects I have going, taking action on things, and also writing tips.
What is your take on bullying?
I have zero tolerance for bullying. When I wrote The Muse, I did so to shed light on the consequences that occur as a result of it. There is a lot of work to be done with bullying. People are dying out there because of it. Some of the feedback that I received on The Muse really opened my eyes to the fact that the victims of bullying aren't the only ones who need the help. The bullies themselves also need the community's support. They too have suffered. As one reader wrote to me, no child is born mean and aggressive. Something caused this child enough pain to turn his or her actions into abuse of others. That hit me hard, and it made me realize that this book opened up a dialogue that needs to continue. Because we all have a significant place in this world, whether we are aware of it or not. Our actions and our inactions can profoundly affect the lives of others. Sometimes taking action is uncomfortable and causes us to step out on the ledge of instability. And oftentimes it's through this instability, through coming out of our comfort zones, through stretching our minds, that we end up changing the course of our lives and the lives of others for the better. The courage to take such a profound step out of that comfort zone, like the one that Jane needed to take in The Muse, brings us face to face with our destiny. And really allows us to leave our mark on someone's life and thus complete the circle of significance and future goodness.
Are there any projects in the pipeline that you will be involved in or with regarding new publishing opportunities?
Always. I am writing right now a nonfiction book called Writer's Insights, which is a how-to book based off of my Writer's Insights video series. It is for aspiring writers, and it offers tips on how to get started as a writer. I am also writing the sequel to Tangerine Twist. It is called Picture Perfect, and it's due out in March of 2014.
Tell me about your work as a philanthropist.
Well, I believe in the power of giving back. From an early age, my parents instilled this in me. I helped elderly neighbors out by cutting their grass and shoveling their sidewalks, and I loved that feeling of helping someone. I think giving of oneself is a great way to beat the blues and appreciate the goodness in this world, because when we make it about others, the rewards are so much more powerful. I've been fortunate enough to have worked side by side with some great people when I worked on Habitat for Humanity homes, when I worked in animal shelters, and when I volunteered my writing and marketing to bring awareness to issues affecting domesticated animals. Now I feel enormously blessed to be able to help give back to the community by donating a portion of my monthly proceeds to the No Hate campaign and Hearts United for Animals.
And Suzie, what do you consider to be your greatest achievement, or what are you most proud of?
Taking the bold step to open Sunny Bee Books and hiring a team to help me publish 7 novels, and soon to be 8. I am also really excited that my first novel, The Fish Room, is being turned into a short film next year. I set that goal and it's really happening.
Leaving a trail of romance novels, what message or inspiration do you hope to bestow upon the person or person who will read?
We all have faults and failures in life. No one is perfect. So to strive for perfection, I believe, just leads to unhappiness. I write about characters who are full of flaws, with the hope that readers can connect to the idea that even despite these flaws, these characters can still soar to new heights, provided they are willing to change, learn, and grow from their experiences. Whenever we learn, we succeed. That, right there, is the message.
With 7 bestsellers on Amazon Kindle in the lesbian romance genre, Suzie continues to write about the beauty of women falling in love with each other, to the rave reviews of her growing fans, loyal followers, and fellow authors. To connect with her, please visit www.curveswelcome.com. Thank you, Suzie, for allowing us time to do this interview, and it was a great pleasure.